On this episode of BOBscaping, it's time to fertilize the flower pots we just planted with some of our favorite annual flowers. They typically get fertilized right after they're planted, and then again once a month. And the product I like to use is this Osmocote. When I was in the landscaping business and visited a lot of nurseries, nurserymen typically used Osmocote in their various potted shrubs because it is slow release. As you see here, Osmocote's calling it smart release. And if you look at the back of on the label, you see they describe the slow release feature of that it's of the 14% nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, 12% of each of those is slow release or controlled release, since the pellets or granulars are coated with a resin product. So what I typically like to do is put about 1 tablespoon of fertilizer on each plant. And it's always good to do them after the foliage is dry. I mean, it might not be as important with Osmocote as it is with some other products, but most chemical fertilizers, you don't want to get them on wet foliage because you do have a certain potential for burning. So we'll get ready and do that next. Okay, so here we go. We'll get a level tablespoon and we'll dump that into the pot. You really don't have to spread it around too much because when you water, the water's going to move it around for you. So I use a full tablespoon for these bigger pots, and then on the smaller pots I might go down to maybe a half a tablespoon, something like that. Again, since it's slow release, mostly slow release, the chance of burning a plant with too strong a dose is much less. It's when you have the quick release chemical fertilizer that you stand more of a chance of burning, because fertilizers do have a high salt content. Now this hanging basket here, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in it. This is one we purchased and it's fairly well established, so it's going to have a higher fertilizer demand. So we'll just dip in here and get some more, come over and do this coleus. And get that one as well. Do this coleus. This pot here. And this one. So you get the general idea. So we're going to do that now. We're getting toward the end of May. So then again in a month from now, we'll come back and do the same thing again at the end of June, and then at the end of July, and one last time at the end of August. Okay, for this episode of BOBscaping, this is Bob.